Hey, all you Mormons and non-Mormons. It's Larry Saperstein, joined, as always, by the somewhat Mormon-looking, but definitely not Mormon, Jacob Bellotti. How are you?
I look Mormon?
No, not really. You just have... Actually, you look Jewish, which, is why I love you so much.
I am Jewish.
But it's just your blondness.
Oh, my God.
Your blondness.
All right, well, welcome to Let's Talk About That.
All systems are a go.
Talking database activated.
Begin in 3, 2, 1.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what? Let's talk about who? Let's talk about me. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about that.
Girl, I cannot believe we are talking about that.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Let's talk about that.
Well, we are in Utah.
Jacob, we are on the road.
We've
taken the podcast on the road once again.
Yeah.
And here we are in Salt Lake City, Utah. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I think it is a very, very interesting place.
Yeah.
So let's talk about us for a second.
Yeah, let's talk about us.
And dive into what our Salt Lake experience has been. So first of all, we've been staying with our guest today on the podcast. We have an amazing guest, Broadway legend. And she has a gorgeous house. Love her house.
Beautiful.
I think the street naming system is stupid.
Yes.
I think...
So for those of you who don't know, there is a numbered street system in Salt Lake City, Utah that is based on the distance of the street to the Mormon temple, the main Mormon temple in the town.
Right, because separation of church and state, who cares?
Yeah.
That's what they say here. Who
Absolutely.
cares?
Who cares?
But I enjoy the mountains.
Mountains are pretty.
I think it's very pretty.
Absolutely.
I do wish there was snow on them. There's not snow on them currently.
I know. I'm sorry about that. I feel responsible.
Yeah, it is completely your fault because, actually, you know what? You know whose fault it is? Joe Biden's, because they're controlling the weather.
He controls the weather,
Controlling the weather, of course.
Yeah, if Joe Biden had just told the Utah people to put snow on the mountains, that would have been so much better for us.
Right. That's my favorite new ridiculous conspiracy. Controlling the weather.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's been nice to see all the places where you filmed. We went to East High. We went to the stage where you filmed. We went to where you lived, too.
Yes.
You lived in a nice place in Sugar House.
It's the High School Musical, the series Grand Tour.
Yes. I was very surprised that people were lined up outside of East High taking pictures.
I think that's funny that you didn't realize that.
That doesn't stand out to me as a tourist attraction.
It definitely is.
I know, but I was shocked about that.
People, they go to East High because they want to be where Troy Bolton was, and they want to take that little jumping picture.
What if they want to be where Big Red was?
I mean, then that's great for them. I don't know if that's why they're going to East High.
It's probably Troy Bolton or Olivia Rodrigo. That's what they're looking at.
They take their little jumping picture.
Yes,
and,
it's so bizarre.
Yeah, and they
but it's
live their
also
East High
it's a school. It's not
it is a functional school that has real life high school students in it.
Like in Albuquerque, right? They have Los Pollos Hermanos, is a real it's a restaurant,
right?
And it's that is people go there and they take their picture in the Walter White booth or whatever. And it's that makes sense to me. But this is a school,
right?
There are children,
right,
in this school,
right,
and people are going there,
and that's why the visitor hours are very strict. You can only, if you want to be a High School Musical visitor, and see the school, you can only go between very specific hours after school is done.
Yeah, it was so bizarre to me, but it's been wonderful being with Kate. I think she's just a phenomenal person.
Yeah, we've done some real bonding. Now, did you have was East High your favorite moment of Utah?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so what's your favorite Utah?
It was actually one of my
far?
most nerve-wracking moments of Utah.
Why nerve-wracking?
I was scared to walk through a high school. It brought back a lot of trauma.
I understand.
Yeah.
Hey, me too.
Yeah.
Just kidding. It brought back wonderful, happy memories of High School Musical, the series.
My favorite part was going to Park City be and going to the Olympic Village. Hello.
Oh, yes.
We went to the Olympic Village where I will be curling in 2032.
Yes,
or
absolutely.
34.
You will
whatever
be
year that is.
34.
34.
10 years from now. In a decade, you will be an Olympic curling champion.
That's
dare
right.
I say.
And I will be bringing home gold for Team USA, honey. Look, I'm already in the right colors.
Yes. Hello, USA. Okay, red, white, and blue.
But obviously, we are wearing these clothes for a reason, and that is because today's guest
Oh my gosh.
is just an incredible human being.
One of my favorite people on this planet. I know I've said that before for other guests that we've had, and that doesn't make those things any less true. But this person is one of my favorite people on the planet as well.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
She is a
in that
Broadway
group.
legend,
Broadway legend, Broadway
television
diva,
actress,
television star,
and a superstar mom.
the best mom, the best drama teacher that anyone has ever had in real life and in TV life.
There you go. So please welcome to the pod, Kate Reinders,
Reinders.
right after this. Kate! Oh my goodness. Welcome to Let's Talk About That.
Let's talk about your shirts, you
Oh,
guys.
yes.
God.
Well, first of all, I have been waiting for this episode for so long. I mean, you were like one of the first people that I was like, we're doing an episode with Kate. It's
Really?
happening. It's going to happen. And we made it happen. We're here. And I'm very excited.
I'm so glad
20
you are
weeks
here.
of this.
20
20 weeks of, oh my God, Kate, we need Kate.
Well, I hope this doesn't disappoint.
There's no
There's no way
universe
it
in which
can.
it can disappoint. But yes, this shirt, you got me this shirt.
Yes, I do know.
It says trust the process. It is Miss Jen's catchphrase, if you will.
Uh-huh.
And Jacob's wearing a big red shirt.
Yes.
Because that's you cutie.
And for the record, I want to say to our listeners and viewers, I did not choose this shirt. This shirt was
The shirt chose you.
no.
That's right. Exactly.
No, I was told specifically that I had to wear this shirt by Larry.
Well,
So-
And how lucky for you.
yeah.
Because it's really cute. It's
Exactly.
really bringing out your rosy
yeah.
cheeks.
Yeah, really,
brings
that's
out
what it's
your
doing.
eyes, honey.
Well, I want to start. I want to start this episode by doing something I've never done on
Okay.
Let's Talk About That before, and that is take off my shoes
Do
because
it.
I am wearing
Oh, are you wearing
Wicked-
special Wicked shoes?
So the
What?
socks.
So the
Oh,
feet
I mean
people.
socks. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
You are so cute.
I am wearing Glinda and
They are
Elphaba
direct from the
because-
Gershwin Theater, those wicked songs.
Yes, because we have
Did the cameras catch them? I think you really need to hold them close.
Oh, yes. Oh, this is an athletic endeavor here.
Use your abs.
Yes.
Yes.
As seen on Larry's Instagram as well,
Yeah.
weirdly. But we have an actual Glinda in the room.
Yes. From quite long ago.
Yes, one of the original Glindas.
Well, from quite long ago.
I mean, what were you, the second Glinda or a third Glinda ever?
It depends how you say it. I opened the Chicago company. So
Okay,
like
okay.
opened the third company, right?
Okay.
And then
Wait, what
I
was
think
the second company?
the tour.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
And then I think on Broadway I was fourth because I think it was Kristen, Jennifer Laura Thompson, Megan Hilty, then me.
Wow.
I mean,
and now how many have there been? 30?
I
20?
mean, probably
5?
more. I
mean-
would say more. If you're counting all the people that have played the role,
Right.
then I mean, way more, right?
I mean, and that's just
Standbys, understudies,
Right.
second covers.
right. And then you're like,
but this is iconic.
you're fourth of all of those people. You're like the fourth person ever.
No, I mean, listen, it's amazing, but I bet the girls playing it now maybe weren't born when I did it.
Well, it was funny when we went in like earlier this year.
Yes, we went
The person
earlier.
playing Glinda was Allie Trim, and she was in 13 the musical. She was the Patrice, like the lead in 13 the musical, like with Ariana Grande
Yeah.
and stuff.
Well, there you go.
And
Like I
in
said,
2009, she was like 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
And now she's like playing Glinda. And I was
No.
like, oh.
Exactly. No, it's like when we did High School Musical and Tim Federle and I realized that had we been together when we were in Gypsy and we'd had a baby, it could have been one of you.
Yeah. I mean, maybe not me.
No.
Maybe not
maybe
you.
not one of us.
I'm not. No. Okay, it would have been Olivia.
Yeah, it
Okay.
would've been
Me and Tim equal Olivia Rodrigo.
Or Sophia. Let's
Yeah,
be
let's
generous.
age it down.
Age it down. So on Broadway, how did you get Wicked? How did that come about?
Do you want the long story or the
Yes.
like medium long?
No,
The
because
fun story.
we talk about Wicked all the time on
Yeah,
this podcast.
it's a big
so
topic.
I feel
Oh, okay.
like it's a big one
Well,
for us.
I would just like to say that this is one of my stories that I tell. That's the theme is never take no for an answer.
Yes.
Great.
everyone. I don't want to make it too long, but basically I was in Gypsy when
Right.
Wicked started, right? So I was playing Dainty June and
With Bernadette Peters,
With
by
Bernadette
the way.
Peters.
And
She
Tim
was-
Federle, the creator of High School Musical.
Oh my goodness.
oh yes, no, it was the best. It was so much fun. It was the best show ever. But so there used to be this bar restaurant across the street called Angus.
Okay.
And everybody would go there after their shows. It was like, I don't know, where do people go now? Joe Allen?
They go to the Haswell Greens, which is on 42nd Street.
See, I don't even
That's like the
know
place where everyone
because
goes.
I live in Utah now, guys. But so whenever we would go over there after the show, people would come up to me quite often and say, "Can I have your autograph?" and hold out a Wicked playbill. And then it would be a little awkward, because I'd have to say, "I'm sorry, it's not me. It's
Did they
not me."
think you were Kristen Chenoweth?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes, which thank you very much. But I didn't
right.
want to forge her autograph.
Right,
and so
right.
I disappointed them or what, I don't know. But so then I heard that they were looking for future Glindas.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked if I could be seen. And I was informed that no, they did not think Dainty June was a Glinda. And I said, well, will you please let them know that Kate Reinders, who plays Dainty June, will be playing Glinda.
Right, like-
Dainty June will not be playing Glinda.
Right.
Like, what is that? Like, you were playing a character. And
I know.
they should have-
And you're also like the most Glinda person in real life that I've like ever met in
Oh,
like
stop!
in existence.
Stop it! No, but so that's what I was told and listened to. It's one of those things where you're like, I don't know. It's like it's a game of telephone, right? Like,
Right.
who said it and did they really say it, or is there another reason? I won't get into that, but the point is, I said that's not really acceptable. I said, can I please audition, and then they can tell me I'm not good.
Right,
You know,
sure.
whatever.
Right.
That's fine. And because they said, no, she doesn't sing like that. You don't sing that. And I said, let me try. And they said no. So then this is what you do, y'all.
of-
so
a
then
lot
I
of
was like,
notes
who
here.
else do I know who can help me? How do I get around
Right.
this? And so I asked a couple people, and I think a couple people tried to get me in, but I think it was one of the guys in Gypsy. His girlfriend worked for Telsey at the time.
Okay.
And
Telsey Casting.
Telsey
big
Casting.
casting office in New York City.
And she got me on the list of the pre-screens, which was
Okay.
fine with me. I said, I will pre-screen
Yeah.
for the assistant of the assistant, whatever it
Sure.
is.
Yeah.
So I did. And they said, can you wait just to, wait an hour till we have whatever. Then so I did. Then I was in there again. And then they said, okay, can you wait for the afternoon when Joe Mantello and the team will be here?
Great.
And I said, yes, great. And I believe while I was waiting, and Telsey used to have this office that had like cats in it.
Okay. I don't think I was ever there.
No, I think it was before your time,
Yeah,
honey.
yeah.
But and I was like a little sneezy because I'm allergic. But I remember Joey McIntyre came in because he was going in as Fiyero,
Okay.
or was about to, or I don't know what exactly. But this is also before your time. But of course, when I was in 6th grade, New Kids on the Block was the thing. And I totally sat in front of my TV with the VHS singing along to
my
like, please
God.
don't go, girl. And I loved him so much. So I was sitting there waiting for hours, and I was pinching myself because I was like, 12-year-old version of myself is freaking out.
Right,
But
of
actually
course.
still I was I was still freaking out. He was so nice. So then I went in and I did all the stuff, and they told my agent, we will consider her for future or whatever. Great. Good.
Party.
And then a month or two or a few months later, I'm not exactly sure, they called and said we would like Kate to open the Chicago company with Anna Gasteyer.
Wow.
I mean, that is like the persistent story. That
Yes.
that is
Yes.
the one.
And then you both transferred to Broadway together?
No, I went first.
Oh,
and I was
okay.
with Eden Espinosa.
Oh, wow, okay.
And then Anna came and we were
amazing.
just on
Gotcha.
it for a few months.
We just saw her in Once Upon a Mattress.
Oh, she was so
I need to get to
funny.
New York to see
They're doing
her
it
in
at the
that.
Amundsen in
they're
LA,
doing it in LA
in like for
in
like 2
November and
months.
December.
Yeah.
The same cast?
Yeah.
Well, Sutton Foster's definitely coming.
I'll text Anna. I'll see if she's
Yeah,
doing
see
it.
if
No
she's
offense.
doing
I
it.
want to see Sutton too, obviously, but I really
Yeah.
need to
By
make
the way,
sure
are
I
you
know.
friends with
Do you
her?
know her?
Sutton
Well, she's
Foster?
best friends with one of my best friends, so it's
Okay.
like a
Okay.
tangential.
We are
Tangential?
slowly. This has been from episode 1. We
Yeah.
have talked about we need to get Sutton Foster, and we are like slowly like working our way.
We're slowly
I
working
bet
our
you
way to Sutton.
can.
Yeah.
I bet you can. She's super nice.
Sutton Foster and Catherine Hahn are the two.
Yeah, those are the
But now you
two.
guys are best friends with Catherine Hahn.
That's
so when is
true.
she going to be on? When's Hahn going to be on? No, you know Broadway is the tiniest little high
Of
school.
course.
Yeah.
Everybody
I
knows
know.
everybody.
Yeah.
Or at least the people of my generation know we know our, we're seniors. We don't maybe not don't know
Generational,
the
And also
freshmen.
recently we met like John Tartaglia, and we were like, oh, that's another Sutton Foster.
Oh my gosh, he is like the nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
I
That's
was
what I've
so
heard. I think I maybe
fangirled.
met him, at one of the events or something.
Right.
Like Easter bonnet.
Well,
or-
because it was you guys were on Broadway at the same time. It was like that 2003,
That's right.
Avenue Q,
Yeah.
Wicked moment.
Yeah. No, I was there a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was your Broadway debut? What was that? It was
Actually, my Broadway debut, well, depends how you define debut.
right.
Is
You
it
were
on
on
the
stage
stage or
at
just like
Broadway.
in a show that is a Broadway show?
On stage on Broadway.
My on stage on Broadway debut was as a pig in Into the Woods.
Work.
The revival with
That is
Vanessa
fierce.
Williams.
That
Thank
is
you.
fierce.
But I was the pig with the brick because I was the smart one.
Wait, do you love
Right.
it? I love Vanessa. I worked with her when on Drag Race. Did you
Oh,
love her?
yes,
Yeah,
of
she's
course.
amazing.
Yes. But that was my official, actual first time
Right.
stepping on stage. I was in a show before that called The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, which was not a hit.
Okay.
And I was the understudy for Kristen Bell, Becky Thatcher.
Oh, okay.
So that's how you knew her.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how I met her, yeah.
Okay, that's so super interesting. But then you also, I'm going through your greatest hits here.
Please.
Something
You'll be down soon.
Rotten.
Yes.
You were original cast on
Yes.
Broadway.
And this is how I knew Kate. I mean, a little funny story. The first day that we met,
In the elevator?
in the elevator, we met in the elevator of
I think I talked to you first, though, right?
Well, the elevator opened and I looked at you. Well, so what happened was I had seen you at the callbacks.
Oh, yes, at the chemistry test thing with me and Mark St. Cyr.
Right. So you and Mark St. Cyr played
Yeah.
Mr. Mazzara. But for you, that was your chemistry test, or it was his chemistry test because you had already been cast.
Yeah, but,
But-
no. But
for
you're
me,
never safe. You're never safe.
For me, it was just my first callback. So then I did a second round of callbacks. But I saw you there, and I mean, it was way in the back of my brain that I was like, I think this person looks familiar. And then when the elevator door opened up and you were there, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, that person was in New York. And I was like, I think, or maybe you said, are we going to the same place? Or I think we're going to the same place. And then we're instant best
No, and
friends.
then I was like, do you
Right.
want to share my Uber?
yes, and we
Come
shared
with
an
me.
Uber to the stage. So we're instant best friends,
Wait,
of course.
and then tell the thing that Josh said when we walked in together.
What? I don't remember. What did he say?
He said, "Oh, are you his mom?"
Whoa!
Remember?
My God.
I don't remember that.
No, and I don't really either, but Josh always brings it up because he's still horrified. And I always tell him, no, thank you. It was a compliment. Larry sort of is my child now.
A little
But I was
bit,
like,
yeah.
I'm all of your mother.
But then it was maybe 2 or 3 hours later that something clicked, or maybe you said something something rotten, or I don't remember what happened, but it was in a few hours into that first day that something clicked for me, and I was like, oh my God, she was in Something Rotten. I was such a big fan of Something Rotten. I played the cast album every day when I was in high school.
It's
You should
legit.
be in something.
I
rotten.
know, I would
Are
love
they
to be.
making a film?
I don't know.
Well,
maybe.
I will inquire.
Yeah,
you would be
inquire, let me
perfect.
know. But I mean, and then from then on, it was it was just she's the Broadway diva, and you were playing Miss Jen. But tell us Something Rotten story. So what was that?
Oh, Something Rotten is it's not a never take no for an answer, but it was another work hard for something you want thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So well, basically too, at a certain point, Well, I don't know. But a lot of shows, they do workshops, they do readings,
Right.
they have people picked early
Right.
on. So they're never available. The roles are never available.
Right.
So Something Rotten, I was lucky because the person who'd done the workshop reading or whatever didn't want to do it or was busy or I don't remember. But so they were going to do it in Seattle as out of town tryout. And I had been in Vancouver doing a direct to streaming children's movie.
Love that.
And it with a monkey and a dog and a monkey. Crystal the monkey, who's very famous.
Oh.
Like the monkey from Hangover, the monkey from Night at the Museum.
Okay. So she's a working monkey.
Okay.
She's
Name dropping on the pod
I
here.
will just drop
Crystal
that.
the monkey,
Crystal the monkey,
honey.
who you guys, and I have to tell you too, like we were like Crystal, yeah, but like crack Crystal because she is so cute and you put your finger down and she would like jump up onto your shoulder with a little lift and then
Well
she would jump-
trained.
and yes, and land right there. And I'm telling you, like you cannot be sad when a monkey is on your shoulder or a monkey is on your lap or a monkey is around.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think she and I had the same sort of vocal quality. So when I would say, hi, Crystal, she'd go, so, yeah, we were good friends. But anyway, I was there in Vancouver and they were, and it was
I
good.
love that's just the intro to this.
Yeah.
story.
It is the intro to Something Wrong. So, no, but so they were going to have, I think they said we might have auditions in LA or you can send a tape or something like that. And I said, but wait, are they going to have auditions in Seattle? And they said, yes, we're going to be in Seattle first because it was going to be at Fifth Avenue.
More
right?
convenient from Vancouver.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah.
So then I said,
Fifth Avenue is a place where they do a lot of like
oh,
out
yes.
of town Broadway.
Yes. And it would have been great
transfers.
there, but I think we just fast forwarded everything and didn't go there because they didn't want to lose Brian and Christian, which
Oh,
dumb.
got you,
Yeah,
got
no,
you.
you don't. Anyway, so I flew from Vancouver on my way home after the movie. I stopped in Seattle. One of my best friends, Amy Renee, who's an awesome casting director,
Love.
super fancy. I'm just going to drop that name too. But she was currently in Seattle with her husband, and so she picked me up. And I got to see her too, of course. And she
Great.
like drove me to the audition, like
Yeah.
my stage mom. And I actually saw a guy there who was my daddy Warbucks when I did Annie when I was 13.
Oh my
Alan Fitzpatrick, because he's a
goodness.
Seattle actor. So he was there auditioning also.
Wow.
And and also they had said, sing like 18 bars and like do these sides. And I
Yeah.
had said, okay, but is there a song? Like, does she have a song?
Right.
And they said, well, yeah, but no, you don't. And I said, no, I would like to sing her song, please.
Work.
Yes.
And so this is another sort of little story. Well, I'll tell that in a minute. But so it was I Love the Way, but it was a solo. And I don't know
Okay.
if you know that.
I didn't know that.
Originally, it was supposed to be a solo.
Okay.
And it would happen after Shakespeare,
right.
before the tap off.
Right.
So at
Okay.
the after party.
Right.
But then when we were rehearsing it, it was very clear that once you meet Shakespeare, you want to just keep like pushing
Right.
to intermission.
Of
You don't
course.
need like a little lilting
Right.
song with the girl who's like getting drunk. But see, it used to be that she was getting drunk as she was singing. And so it's
cute.
really fun.
Oh.
But they still
But no.
kept the drunk storyline.
Yes,
at the
she still
after
got drunk,
party.
but
I
it wasn't
remember
like, I'm singing a song and I'm
Right,
getting
right.
drunker. And then also John Cariani used to have a song called I Suck. That was like Where I Love the Way is.
Yes.
But it was the cutest song. He was so Kermit the Frog.
Right. I remember-
Suck, I suck.
Yes.
And I
It was like God,
loved
it really blows to suck.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember when I was in Nashville, and remember how I told you that they did Carrie and Wayne did what's that called a
Cabaret?
talk back
Oh,
kind of thing, like a talking about the show, talking about the musical.
In something, you mean in Nashville or?
Yes, when I was at the All National Choir thing when I was in high school, it was like the year it came out. They played a bunch of songs from the show that never made it into the
Yes.
show, and they played that song.
I love it.
So I do remember that. Anyway, keep going.
No. It was so good. It was so good. But anyway, it was a whole song. So I learned that song to sing in Seattle. And
I think it is so fierce that you're like, I want to sing her song. Like,
this is the thing though, right, guys? If you're going to go for it, go for it.
yeah.
Right? I was in like the hair and makeup or in my dressing room, like in my trailer during that monkey movie. And I was practicing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a little embarrassing too when people can hear you. But I was like, I'm going to practice. I'm going to try to be good. I'm going to try to get
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
And And even though, of course, my agents were like, you really want to get this show in Seattle, like really badly. And I was like, no, trust me.
Right.
Also, Portia is just like the best character.
Yeah.
It's like a Puritan who's like hot for poetry and who gets drunk, like has a drunk
Who has,
song.
like, a gay
I'm so
dad.
into it. Yes. But so I swept in Seattle is what I call it. I swooped in Seattle.
Swooped.
I swooped. I tried to swoop. I was like, let me get in there before they have auditions
Yeah.
in LA. Before they, just ASAP, let me get in there. Let me sing the song. And so I did.
Great.
And then you got it.
And then I got it. And I don't remember when they told me I got it though. It might have been a little bit later. But Casey was there.
Right.
The Kirkpatricks were there.
Oh,
It's always better to be
Casey
live.
Nicola, big
Casey
Broadway
Nicola,
director.
yes. But it's so important to be in the room if
live.
you can be.
Yeah.
Especially with comedy.
Yeah. It's something that's like missing today. They don't want to travel, or not that they don't want to, but I think that they're not being given the money to do that kind of stuff.
Right. And it's like a pros cons thing because of that, I can live in Salt Lake City and make audition tapes in my basement.
Right.
I mean, I even have a basement. The fact that I even have a basement is amazing. But
Incredible. We love your basement.
thanks. And they stayed in my basement. It's cozy. But I do feel like, especially with comedy, I have definitely gotten parts that I think, one for sure I know I got it like before the audition started.
Right,
Or
right.
like
Yeah.
after the scene. I mean,
Right.
like being
Because you
myself.
like walk in and
Yes.
you sell the room, what they say.
or you walk in
Right.
as the character.
Yeah.
Especially with TV, and I'm sure you probably felt this with Big Red too,
Yeah.
but especially with a pilot, what they really want, I think, is for you to say, this is how I would do the part, this is the
Right.
part on me, and I would be bringing this to it.
Right.
So,
'cause
so it's really important to show yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly learned that with High School Musical is like, it felt like they were casting people more than they were casting characters, because
Yes.
the characters from the original scripts that we got to then like even the first episode that we filmed, like the characters changed so much and they molded to who we
Yes.
all were.
No, Big Red wasn't supposed to be an amazing tap dancer.
Right, well,
but,
yeah.
but like how fun that he was.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, we talked about that with Julia a bit, how different the characters
Oh,
were in the
and
original.
didn't Julia say? Didn't she have like only a couple lines in the pilot?
Yeah, in the first episode. But I think
And then
there
she had
was
the
always-
biggest song in the
There
second.
was always a plan to make her character big, but in the first episode there was so much story that I guess there just wasn't enough.
Oh
like,
no!
you
So
know,
much
room to
introducing
also-
everybody. No, it's just introducing everybody.
But before we get to that, I'm curious,
sorry.
how is it with the reception to Something Rotten? Because it was such a big hit on Broadway. People loved it.
But it was. But I think, I mean, and as you know, Portia is kind of like an outsider role. I don't know how to say that. I mean, she's a cocktail role, but they would all do musical. They would do omelet. They would do the big numbers, and I wasn't in them.
Right.
So I would just go and I would sit, with the writers behind the table and just watch the magic unfold.
Wow.
And I saw all the different ways they did it, and I just thought this is amazing. We all thought like this is the next Book of Mormon. This is
Right.
going to be huge. But then it was a tricky year. It's always right.
It's always
That's
based
always
on,
what
like,
happens.
the year. Yeah.
Or
Because what was it up against? It was up against Hamilton, right?
Oh God. Well,
Or no, was that the-
no,
that
I
was
think
the
it
year
was up
before.
against. I think it was Fun Home. Was it Fun Home?
Yes, I
but
think you're right.
Hamilton was coming
Right. Hamilton was like coming down
the
like
pike.
They saw it.
Well, right, because Brian Darcy James chose to do our show instead of Hamilton at the Public. No, wait,
Oh,
he did do it at the wait.
I
what?
don't know. Maybe he chose to do it at the Public and then
No, he did do it, but he couldn't go to Broadway. Wait, so
Right.
maybe it was Hamilton year. That can't be right.
I think
It was
that I think that it was
2015,
like a
right?
timing
Do you like how I
thing.
don't even know?
I think,
Yeah.
So what I this is like, I can't believe I remember this, but I do remember that Hamilton opened like right after the Tonys. It opened in like August.
in July or so. That's
August.
right.
And then so it wasn't eligible until 2016 Tonys, but it was kind of part of that 2015 season.
man,
so
that
like
Hamilton kept winning awards.
yeah,
Well, of course
for like
it
for like
did.
8 years after that show, at every
That's all
award show,
anyone
there was
talked about.
some award went to Hamilton,
Well,
and I don't
yeah.
know
Yeah.
how that's possible.
But Fun Home, yes, that
I
was
think it
Fun
was
Home
Fun
was
Home.
that year.
Well, and
best
it's always that
musical
thing
winner.
too. It's like, do you go funny, splashy, or do you go smaller, edgy, moving, you know,
Right.
issues.
I like funny splashy. I think it's even more funny splashy.
No, I know, but I mean, it was also great. It's just apples and oranges, so it's like, you know, they're both great for different reasons. But I think, I don't know. I think, but we also had a really big theater, so I think I think Something Rotten could have run longer, but with that theater, it's so huge, and then all the rules.
Show. It's so smart and funny. It's so smart with like just the way it turns like history on its head, but like all the historical kind of facts are still there in a way.
Yeah.
But then it's like adding this element of like
fantasy
and like comparing it to modern, you know, making him like this rock star who has to sign Shakespeare like, has to sign autographs, and like I always just thought that was so smart.
No, so smart, so creative.
And like the conversation we were having yesterday about what we're working on. And
I
it
was just going to say, I feel like can we talk about that? Or is that a secret?
That's still a little secret.
Okay, well, you guys, they have a secret that I can't tell you, but it might be the next Something Rotten. Okay?
But that's what I'm saying is we've been like looking at Something Rotten so closely to do something in that space. And it's like, you know, and it's just so brilliant.
Thank you. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I also think it was one of those things where it's like all the cooks in the kitchen were all really good.
Right.
And everybody contributed, you know, in wonderful ways.
Yeah, like the perfect amount.
Yes.
In the right way.
Great director,
But
great
Kate contributed
writers.
the most. And that's what matters.
No, cocktail rum.
Do you have like a favorite Broadway thing that you've done? Or is it one of the things we've already talked about?
I have favorite things about each one, I would say.
Oh.
I mean, Gypsy was sort of the first thing that I couldn't even believe I got to be a part of.
Right.
Yeah.
And Sam Mendes as a director, he was the first person who told me that he said, "You're an actress."
Oh,
And I was
you told me
like-
that. There was a story with like.
Oh, yes.
Wait, can you tell the
you want me
story
to tell the
briefly?
I know, because Tim remembered it, and I didn't think anyone
Yeah.
else would remember it
Oh,
except
I remember
me.
you telling me this story.
But
I thought this was.
yes, there was. So Sam Mendes, of course, of course his rehearsals are not typical. So in the beginning, we rehearsed all together all the time, and we would slowly work through the script, but everybody would sort of like sit in a circle, and then the people in the scene would be in the middle. But then he would have the people you're talking about be there too, whatever. So Tammy Blanchard and I were doing our scene leading up to If Mama Was Married. And Sam said, "Okay, now Bernadette, go sit between the girls, and Kate, take all of your lines to her." And so I said, "Okay, you know." So then I was doing, Mama can do one thing. She can make you believe whatever she believes, or whatever those lines are. See,
Right,
where is
yeah.
it so far back? But yes, as I was doing it and yelling at her, poor Bernadette.
You're
Right.
yelling
I
at
was
Bernadette
I was
Peters.
yelling at
Peters.
Bernadette Peters,
Yeah.
and she was withering. But I just felt this like burning fire of like hot anger,
Wow.
you know, because that's
Right.
really it. Because that's
You
it.
were-
She's
yeah.
like, my mother ruined my life.
Right.
Yeah.
And I let it out. And then after that, Sam was like, "Okay, let's take a break." and then he said, "You're an actress."
Wow. When you told me the story, you said a single tear went down Bernadette Peters'
That
face.
sounds
I don't know if that's
right.
true, but that was that's
It
the
might be-
detail I remember.
No, but I mean, I sort of see her sitting there cowering, but I was just letting it rip. No, but I think
It's so unbelievable.
no, and if I had taken acting classes and stuff, that's probably something that I would have learned how to do or
Right.
done it before.
You just had it.
No,
Yeah.
but Sam just brings out
Right.
the best in people, or he sees it, or he's magical. But no, but that's how I then. After that, then I was like, "Oh, that's how you act.
Yeah.
You feel the feeling
Right.
in your body that is
In a
that
real way,
feeling,
yes.
and then it just will come out."
Yeah.
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 All right. Well, more with Kate Reinders right after this.
Bye for now.
And we're back with Kate Reinders. So, Kate, that jacket, first of all, I know you complimented us at the beginning, but you walked in
Thank you.
très chic today.
Do you recognize it from season? Oh, No, I'll ask you. Do you recognize it?
I don't know what season it's from. I do recognize the shoes because you wore the shoes a lot, and they were like early shoes.
They were
like
early shoes. They might have even
shoes.
been like, yeah.
I don't know what season is the jacket from.
4.
Okay,
And I was
C4.
wearing this on the audition day.
Okay, the audition day of
okay.
season
When I was
4.
just sitting behind, and then when I was sitting behind the desk and just clapping, and it was like the audition montage
Got it.
when people
Got it,
were
got it,
running
got it.
in and out.
Work.
Great.
Well,
Yeah.
fierce.
No, listen, I mean, super sad about our show, but silver lining,
Yeah.
I got a lot of cute clothes.
Yeah. Okay, you and I took a lot of clothes. I mean, you took the most because you didn't have to take it on a plane. You just drove it.
True.
Because you live
Also
here.
true.
But I took a lot of clothes that I still wear. Like, because Big Red had a lot of T-shirts, a lot of sweatshirts, a lot of stuff that's just like casual, easy to wear. It was all nice, normal
No,
clothes.
I mean, all our clothes were so cute. And
Yeah.
mine were pretty much all tailored within an
Yes.
inch of their life. So some of them don't fit right now. Got to get back down to my
Okay,
Miss Jen
well,
weight.
hold on. I'm impressed that the other day you showed us a video of you wearing a dress that you wore 20 years ago, and you were wearing it
18.
Yeah, 18 years ago.
18 years ago, and you
Yes.
could still fit in it. So that in
Well, thank
itself
you.
is very
it
impressive.
didn't fit quite the same way.
But it still fit.
But I breathed. You guys, the key is to just like really breathe out, just like empty your lungs and then zip.
And then it fits.
And
it's
then
magical.
it's magical. Yeah.
Yeah.
So was the High School Musical process like as simple as like you knew Tim and it just kind of worked out?
I love that people think that is what happened, but no. No,
No, it wasn't. No.
I got the audition the usual way.
Yeah.
And it came in with the breakdown with all the stuff. And I remember seeing, Tim Federle.
Yeah.
And then I remember the breakdown for Miss Jen was something like 20s to 40s, all
Yeah.
ethnicities. She moved away to be a Broadway. So really, I was thinking, oh, this is me, that she's me. And then
Yeah.
I thought, but
Right.
she could really sort of be anyone. But she, but I felt she was me.
Yeah.
But
Well, and she
And
was
is
you.
She was you.
yeah, but you know what? And then my really good friend Deborah Abramson helped me make an audition tape in her apartment, and we had to sing on that too. So she played and she read with me. Thank you, Deborah, for getting me the awesome job. And then Julie Ashton, but also the casting director, Julie Ashton. I'd
Yeah.
auditioned for her many times
Yes,
before
me
in
too.
LA, and she was always so supportive and so nice. And I
Yeah.
could tell she was trying to cast me, but I was never quite right for anything.
Right.
But she'd be like, "You were great. You're not going to get it. You were great. Like, don't give up."
Yeah.
We love
And-
Julie Ashton.
Yeah.
Oh yes, we love her. So she then called me and she said, "Okay, so listen, make another tape, but this time make it. They want it to be more like indie movie, like PG-13, like edgier, smaller. Do another one." So then I did another one,
Great.
and then they said, "Okay, we want to test you." And then do like the first scene like the first tape, and the second scene like the second tape, and the third. So I was like, copy, got it. And what was amazing was that it's feast or famine. So
Right.
I was just about to go into Beautiful on Broadway.
Right.
So I flew out to test in LA, I think October 10th or something, and I flew back. I turned around and flew right back and then I went to the theater and got my picture taken for the front of the theater.
Oh, wow.
And then I started the next day.
Wow.
And
Oh, my
when you're getting plugged
God.
into those shows, they give you like a week.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you kind
And
of missed
luckily,
like a week
it's
of-
not like a choreography I
Yeah.
didn't have to like do that because I
actually
would have
never
been
saw
in
that show.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I hadn't until
Right.
later. I love that show.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about my favorite things for different reasons. Cynthia Weil, I would say, was the first really smart woman
Yeah.
I ever got to play.
That's fierce.
Cool.
And it's more of a play with music.
Right.
And I loved that show. I loved the people there, but of course I got to be there for 5 minutes
Right.
because then
Because then you got
I got High School Musical.
and then it closed, or did it close?
No, I think
COVID. It was a COVID close,
no, and
or just before.
I don't know, but it ran for a long time because it
Yeah.
had its 5-year anniversary thing
Right,
while I was
right,
there.
right, right.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, it was super hit.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, a lot
was
of
so
people,
good.
Major
and
hit.
of course the music is amazing.
I know. We listen
The
to it all the
best.
time. Yeah.
The best.
Yeah.
but anyway, so you were in it for like 5 minutes, and then
Yeah,
High
but
School Musical.
also so I was lucky because they had waited to do my negotiation for it. And so it was, like sign this rider, you have no outs. And I said, all I need is this one out for this one show that, I mean, come on, chances of me getting it are slim to none.
Right.
All I need is this one out. And so they gave it to me because they knew chances are slim to none.
Right.
And then they didn't tell me I got Miss Jen until December.
Wow.
Okay.
And so my agents kept telling me, it's not dead. It's not dead yet. And, and I said, you guys, it's been 6 weeks or whatever it's been. It's okay. It's okay. We can let it go. We can let it. And Tim told me later they saw, I think, the most for my
Really?
part.
Wow.
That's because she could go so many different ways, right?
Yeah.
But
And to say, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, it went the correct way.
yeah, I mean,
is
in
what
like
happened.
first instinct,
But
is
also,
always the best,
they
right?
needed to get the kids first, I think,
Right.
and that's obvious, right?
Except me, because I didn't have my first audition until January.
Well, they couldn't find you.
I know.
It was just that they couldn't find you.
They found me.
And I think Julie said your part was going to be the hardest.
Yeah, and she always, whenever she sees me, just Julie Ashton, the casting director of High School Musical,
Thank you,
and
Julie.
many, many, many other Disney, Hulu shows.
Oh,
I
so
mean,
many.
casting legend. Anytime she talks about the casting process, she says that I was the unicorn. She says every show has a unicorn, someone that like you can't find until the very end, but when you find them, the whole thing comes together. And she always says that to me whenever she sees me.
Isn't he so
sweet.
modest on the
I know.
podcast?
But
No, but it's
I
true
think
though.
you're the unicorn.
Or not the opposite. What would the opposite of the unicorn be?
I mean, I always thought it
the
was
white bread and the.
I always thought it was like, at least in the first couple seasons, like I was always like, it really is Miss Jen's show. Like I know that it's
I do think that I was the voice of Tim, kind of. Although
Right. Yes.
sort of his voice was in all of us.
Right. I mean, I know
Different
it's
parts of
like
him.
I know it was about Ricky and Nene and all that stuff, but I was like, the real like dramatic core is like this drama
Your
teacher,
journey,
like
yeah.
this drama teacher finding her way and like cultivating this community and like figuring out how to be a leader and a teacher
right.
and like how to
it's the
inspire these
Mr.
people.
Shoe in Glee. It's
Yeah.
it's all that.
I
You,
always
That's what
you
it
are
is.
so nice to me.
No, it's true. I always felt like it was, you don't have this show without Miss Jen. Like it was really always about this character bringing these people together, and that's what made it so special. But I mean, you were like our mom. You were.
That is true. I was going to say you were all my babies.
You really took on the role.
I was the mother hen.
Yeah. What's like your favorite memory from doing the show? I know that's a
I know, I
ridiculous
have
question.
So many, right?
It's a ridiculous
I have so
question.
many. I mean, so many. I'll cry if I really think about it too much.
Aw.
But no, but like,
Okay,
just,
think about it
but I,
less.
no, okay, I'm thinking about it so little. No, just, I mean, I remember just the first time we were all together,
Yeah.
meeting everybody for the first time, and all the kids. I have special memories with all of them, especially like the moments they shined
Yeah.
in ways that just blew your mind. You know, you're with these kids that you know are insanely talented. They're all clearly the top of their game. And then they do something that makes you realize they're even more talented than you realized. I mean,
Yeah.
it just blew my mind over and over.
Yeah.
And because you all had so many talents too. It wasn't, you weren't good at one thing.
Yeah, and the show let us feature all of them. Like I think, Tim and the writers worked really hard to like have it be about how can we feature everyone in an exciting way, because they knew that that's what like made it special.
Yeah.
But you got some exciting feature moments too.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
I mean,
I got to dance with Derek Huff, you
I know you
guys.
danced with Derek
I mean, I
Huff.
was nervous, but this
was
is the
hot.
thing. You don't have
It
to
was
do
steamy.
anything to dance with Derek Huff. He told me, he said, you don't have to reach for me. Just put your hands out and I'll grab them. And I was like, yes, you will.
Sensual.
Wow, I know that. Was
Yes, you
sexy.
will. No, I mean, really, you just let him lead. And he makes you look good. That's why he won all those
Right.
Yeah.
Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and they really gave Miss Jen every single boyfriend she could ever possibly have.
Well, that's because I was the only adult woman in the
We're
show.
flying through them.
Because I had no competition.
Yeah.
No, really, there were no other adult women.
Yeah, and then
You're also the first character we ever see on the show.
That's true.
That's the opening shot.
Because I'm the
It's-
Tim.
I guess so.
I'm coming in, I'm bringing all these kids together. I'm going to show the world how amazing they are. And I'm going to cry a little bit about it. And then I'm going to set them free and watch them fly.
Yeah, and everyone was set free. And here we are. I mean, and even like, I just, whenever I think about you and this show in particular, it's like, it's such a full circle moment. Like every time we were on set and you had all these stories of like, you worked with Tim and then 20 years later, it comes back to be like a relationship that moves you forward. Or Beth Lakey, who played Ricky's mom, like you worked with her like 10 years before or something like that. And then it was like, all of a sudden, now you're working with her again. Like,
yes,
that's something that I just always learn from you, is that like the community always pushes you forward, and like you really have invested in the community, and it's gotten you places.
But see, it will for you too, because remember when Tim told all of us early on too, he said at a certain point, everyone is very talented.
Right.
Everyone is extremely talented.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it comes down to who works really hard, but even more so, who is a pleasure to work with.
Right.
Right? Because you don't want to work on a show with a bunch of divas.
Right.
And you don't want complainers, and you don't want and I think he said that was the key to longevity. So you're going to totally have that too, and people will come back around, and then someday you might be the dad of a cast. You never know.
Right.
He might be Miss Jen.
You might be Miss Jen, but it'll be about Miss Jen.
Right.
Yeah.
You will for sure be the lead, Miss Jen : the musical :
you.
the series.
Get him in a wig.
No, he has great hair, but no, I think that'll happen before you know it, and then it is crazy how your role shifts, and then, I mean, again, it makes me cry, but it is true that like my greatest happiness in the show was watching all of you and being part of it when you were all amazing, and now getting to see where you all go from here.
Oh,
That is the sweetest
That's so
sentiment
special.
on this podcast.
No, it's a mom sentiment,
yeah.
and I was so lucky.
But it also speaks to how good you are. You're such a
Yes.
good person.
No, I love my kids.
And like Utah's changed your life in a way. Like now you're here, like raising
yeah.
you know.
Have I
You're
ever
a
told you this?
mom.
Have I ever told you the story about the psychic who predicted this?
No. Well, I remember there was like a psychic named like Alice. Or was that a different
Kendra.
thing?
No.
Kendra.
Well, she's not. You're right. She's not a psychic. She is a medium who channels an angel.
Right.
Okay.
But the angel's name was Alice.
No, the angel's name is Kendra.
Oh, okay.
But that
Larry,
I like
get it
being
together.
Alice.
I'm sorry.
Her name is
No.
Kendra.
Sorry.
No, Kendra's kind of random for
Yeah.
an angel, but that's
Okay.
how you know it's right.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but it was. I went with Kevin Cahoon, who
Okay.
you also know.
Work.
We also
Big
know
Broadway
and love.
star. Yes.
Been
Yeah.
friends with him for 20 years. He's a great example of hard work, nice to work with, the genius,
And now
all-
getting his Tony nomination.
Yes,
living
Yes.
finally,
Yes.
and he'll do so much more, and I can't wait to see also what he does next. But he and I went to this psychic because Rachel Dratch, because Amy Poehler, just I'll drop all the names of Kevin's friends. Let's be honest.
right.
Beyonce. Yeah. Mhm.
No, but I guess Amy sent Rachel, and Rachel was skeptical, and she went, and the angel told her, "You're going to have a son like in the next 2 years or something."
Wow.
And she said, "And the show you're doing is not going to Broadway." And Rachel was like, "You're silly. Like I'm
Oh,
in
my
Minsky's.
God.
It's going to Broadway. I'm not having a baby." And then boom, she has cute little, I think Eli is his name.
Wow.
And Minsky's didn't go, right? So then Rachel was like, "Kevin, you have to go see her." And I said, "I want to come too."
Okay.
So we went together, but of course, you know, you're always so skeptical.
Right.
And she did this thing where she would like channel, and she would warn you. She'd say, when the angel comes, I'm gonna like sound weird. I'm
Right.
gonna have a weird accent.
Oh my God.
And so she'd be like, "Mama," and then she'd be like, "Hello, children." It was a little terrifying. But so she told us all this stuff. But at one time she talked about me being in a bubble. So then I was like, "Oh, did she just Google us or something?" Like I don't. And now I don't believe her.
Right.
And she said, "You will have one son," and I was like, "I'm not having a kid.
Yeah.
I'm not having kids."
Yeah.
Like she doesn't know what she's talking about. So she lost me. But then she said, "I see you sitting behind a desk, surrounded by cameras, and you're like a judge, but you're judging these people, and it's like a Broadway competition."
Whoa.
That's
So of
pretty
course,
close.
no. So of course I thought, okay, so like American Idol. Oh, but then she
Right.
said, "But it won't be here, and it won't be in New. It'll be far away, not
Right.
here or New York, but far
Right.
away." So then I'm like, "What? American Idol, like in London
yeah,
for
yeah,
Broadway?
yeah.
There's no way I
Right.
would ever be a judge." So it wasn't until, and that was 2012.
wow.
So it wasn't until during, I think, the pandemic, or I don't know, it It must have been season 2 because I was living in that other house by
Okay.
East High. And I remember talking to Kevin about something and then remembering that. And all of a sudden, I think I might have even been brushing my teeth. But I was like, do. Sitting behind a table
with
cameras while people audition Broadway. And then,
I mean,
and then
it's
I was
very
like,
specific.
and also
Yeah.
I have a son.
Yeah.
And then
No.
she was like, you will live in
She said I
Salt
would-
Lake City.
Oh, no, but that was far, far away, like random,
Far
right?
from- yeah.
Yes. All
Wow.
these things.
Wait, you got to get us her info. We need to.
No, I've been trying to track her down, and I emailed the last thing, but I don't know. I don't know if she retired or.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I know. I want.
But we used to have a
gotta do
recording
this.
of it too, and I said, Kevin, we have to find that recording. What else
Yeah.
did she
Yeah.
say?
Yeah, seriously.
She did say that Kevin was going to have a big show that told his story, and she said it wasn't yet. It was going to come up later.
Do you
So I
that's
think that's
happened yet?
coming.
Okay.
No, I think it's coming.
Wow.
Okay.
He has lots of his life is a novel. Well, not a novel. I guess it's a memoir, an
Yeah.
autobiography.
Yeah.
Whatever. But you know what I'm saying.
Well,
Yeah,
something
it'll
to
be
look
good.
forward
Story.
to then.
Yes. I would like to say that Larry is a very wonderful family person. I don't know if you've talked about
Oh.
that before, but he was always so great with Luke. My son, his name's Luke. And when we started the show, he was 18 months old.
Yeah.
And I had this great nanny here, but there were a couple times when she had to go, I think, play soccer. And of course, I could not stand in her way.
Right.
Of course.
And so then I would have moments of, oh no, can someone watch Luke?
Yeah.
And Larry did a couple times. And his
Yeah.
parents came once or twice.
Yeah, there was one time that they were here and you were like, can you watch Luke? And I was like, of course. And you're like, but your parents are here. I'm like, no, it's fine. They will happily
Yes.
sit for 2
Yes,
hours.
and then I
watch
came
Luke.
home, and Luke's like, "Go away again, please." He's like, "I am now a Saperstein." No, but even now he is 7
Yeah.
now, and he loves you. And he
Aw.
was even saying, he's like, "When are Larry and Jacob coming over to play Mario? Whatever
Mario Kart,
but not
yeah.
Mario Kart,
Oh,
the fighting
Smash
thing."
we were
Bros.
playing
You were
Smash Bros with him.
yeah.
Yes. Well, he wants you to come over and play that with
He's
Well,
him.
the
glad he liked
cutest
it.
little kid.
Well, he loves you.
Aw. And like we just had so many memories, like especially
Yes.
during season 2, and it was like COVID, and we couldn't really hang out with other people outside of our bubble. Like you were such my like home base and safe space because there was like, you know, I just needed like that kind of like family
Yes.
unit, and like we would do pumpkin carving. I had like this great memory of carving pumpkins with you and Luke.
We did the Christmas tree.
We did the Christmas
but we like
tree.
made
Yes.
ornaments.
Yes,
and it was
yes,
one of
yes.
those sad little like the cheaper Target Christmas
Oh,
tree.
okay.
But I still have it because I thought I was getting it for like a year or two.
Yeah.
But I'm still here.
I mean, use it if you got
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, the house that you have here now is just so cozy and so cute, and it was just so homey to
Yeah,
be
and you
there.
guys came over and we had stockings.
Yes, you
What
did.
else
You
did we
got us
do?
stockings.
That
Yes.
is the
and
sweetest.
then my mom sent my
Wait.
present like to your house so that you could
Yes,
give it to me.
your surprise present, a
Yes,
bass, an
yes.
electric bass.
That bass that's in
Oh, yeah.
in my apartment, still in my apartment now.
Is it
Yeah.
the one we use in the podcast?
No, it's
or
the other one.
It's the other one.
acoustic-
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay, so this is the point, right? Is that that you work with people who can end up being your family forever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Aw.
How lucky are we?
Yeah.
Well, you are just the most magical, wonderful person.
Well, so
I
are
think.
you.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
approve of this.
Yeah, this is also this,
situation.
just for the listeners out here. This is also like the trip where Jacob and Kate meet, which has
Yes.
been
Yeah,
so
we
lovely
sized
for
each
me.
other
So
up.
wonderful.
House
It was
and-
love at first sight. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
it was truly wonderful. And you are so talented and accomplished and have done all these things. And I do not want to reduce you to one thing, but I have to at this moment because
Jacob's dream.
this is my dream. We've talked about this on the podcast before.
What?
We have a Broadway Glinda here. We need to sing a little Wicked with
Whatever
you.
you want. I'll do whatever you want. I might not
Because
remember the words.
I want to say before any of that, like you have done so much and you are incredibly talented and accomplished and have done all these amazing things. But we got to do Wicked.
No, you guys, Wicked is definitely the
gotta do
top of
Wicked.
my I'm so lucky list.
What should we sing? What should we sing?
What was you want to sing a little for good?
We could do a little for good. Do you remember it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you have to tell us what the parts are, or you guys want to sing together, right?
No, we're all singing.
We're all singing. We're all singing. We're all singing.
So who goes? If we start from like the bridge, who
Oh.
goes high and who goes low?
Oh, Glinda goes low.
Glinda goes
It's
low.
really
Okay.
low.
Okay,
Yep.
so that's
Okay, so we're alphabet.
like
she's
a
Glinda.
ship blown from its
Yeah, you gotta
mooring.
belt like
Yeah.
an alphabet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do it. We'll do it.
Okay.
You want to start at the bridge?
So, and
Yeah,
just to clear the air, right?
yeah. Okay,
okay.
it's you. Go.
Okay.
And
One,
just to
two,
clear the air, I ask forgiveness for the things I've done you blame me for.
Take it away.
And yet, nope, I don't know.
And then I guess.
Oh, and then I guess we know there's blame to share.
And none of it seems to matter anymore.
Like a comet
Like a ship blown from
as
its
it passes the
mooring
by a
sun.
wind off the
Like a
sea.
stream that meets
Like
a
a
boulder.
sea
dropped by a
halfway
spur
through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better?
I do believe I have been changed for the better. And because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed
Blink, ding, bing, ding.
for good.
Jacob, I think you would be an amazing Glinda.
Thank you.
I mean, that's probably the biggest compliment you could have ever given him.
Seriously.
How much do I sing Popular in the car?
I know. Should we
sing it
should we
all the
just
time.
do Elphaba and Glinda for Halloween and
That's
just
what
go
I'm
all
saying.
out?
We should just go
Yes.
all out with the
Why
Wicked
is it even a
movie
question?
too. Like,
I know.
there's just so much going on.
We really
do
should.
it.
Oh, I saw a trailer for the movie yesterday, and
Yeah, what do you
ooh,
think?
Those costumes look so good.
Yeah.
Ariana's costumes.
So
I was like, that
beautiful.
is cute. There's
So
like a
beautiful.
poofy pink dress. Yeah.
Are you gonna like be there opening night? Like, what are you gonna do? Are you excited for it?
Of course, I'm excited for it.
Oh,
It looks
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I love everybody in it. Jeff Goldblum, come on.
Yeah,
I love him.
I know. Great casting.
No,
choices
it looks
all
so
around.
good. And no, they were doing a screening, I think, at the end of this month in New York. But of course, I'm in Utah. I'm gonna have my own little Salt Lake party.
Yeah, you should.
I'll invite our High School Musical friends.
Yeah.
You should.
Well-
Can I say this on the pod about your Wicked story a little bit?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess so. It didn't.
He was
that's
almost
right.
in
He
it.
almost got it.
He was
Yeah,
almost
I was
in
I was
it.
pretty close.
Who ended up getting it?
Ethan Slater.
Ethan Slater. He's
Yeah.
dating Ariana Grande now.
He was
it's a little
SpongeBob
messy.
and
Okay,
SpongeBob Meets
okay, well
School.
that's kind of cute.
Yeah, yeah.
It should have been you, but if not,
Yeah.
then that's kind of cute.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I don't fully know like if I was really, really close, but I did have like a director session.
You
with
were
John
in like
too.
the top
We're gonna
three.
go
Yeah, I
ahead
was
and
pretty
say
close. It was
you
between
almost
it was
got
between
it.
the two of us. It was
Yes.
between the two of us.
But listen, you're going to be so busy because, first of all, you have to do the Miss Jen spin-off show.
Right.
Yes, of course.
And the Shucked movie.
Right.
We're getting you in that.
happen. Yeah.
Right.
And what else?
Anything
Something
that
where I
comes
play
my
your
way.
mother.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward
something
to
that
it.
we could also
I
get
can
you
play
in.
your mother in the Miss Jen. I will play Miss Jen's mother,
Okay.
Okay,
Fun,
work.
fun.
I love
the one
that.
who came back from an autopsy. Remember that line? That was
Yes,
my favorite
there's, like, my
line.
mother bounced back from an autopsy.
I come from strong stock.
yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being here, Kate. This was really
Thank
a
you for having
joy.
me.
We love you so much.
I
This-
love both of you. Thank you for coming to Salt Lake.
Well, anything for you. We love you.
Come back
and
soon.
Thanks
This is
for
the
doing
best
this.
trip ever, best everything ever. So
Well, Kate, where can the people find you if they want to find you on the internet?
Oh, I'm like, they can find me in Utah. You know,
at Gelson, somebody, you know.
no, I'm not really anywhere.
Okay, well, she does have an Instagram.
It's at Kate Reinders, but I never really go on it. But I should.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try.
Okay, well, we're gonna post about you, so go
Oh, then
check
I
that
will.
out.
But you'll have to text me and tell me to
I will.
repost.
I will.
Okay.
Well, and you can find us on TikTok and Instagram at Let's Talk About That Pod.
And as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, things you want us to talk about, email us at letstalkaboutthatpod@gmail.com.
And of course, YouTube at Let's Talk About That Pod.
of course, we're everywhere, basically.
I
so.
love Let's Talk About That.
Yes.
We're gonna clip that right. Like
Yes.
we're gonna make a super cut of like every.
I love Let's Talk About That. I mean, this has just been like one of the most magical episodes we've ever done. So we can't thank you enough. And thank you to everybody who's been listening for over 20 episodes at this point.
My goodness.
And I hope you stay with us for many, many, many more. So,
all right. So thank you, Kate. And we'll see you next week on
Let's Talk About That. Yay! Yay!